Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Game God Fluent, bringing you episode 1 of a new Let's Try that I want to bring you guys. Excuse me. This is for a game that I discovered a while back and played a very tiny little bit of. Just kind of went through a bit of the tutorial and moving on the map and didn't do much else after that, but it's a game that, harkens to me back to Vagrus, the Riven Realms, that game, which I'm going to continue as well because crazily enough, even though we've done a bunch of Vagrus on the channel here, we have not even finished the tutorial slash prologue and started a quote-unquote proper new game, which we haven't even seen the base game. It's just been the prologue, so that has been something. I want to get through the prologue eventually and check out the base game with the created character and everything. But this is another game that involves taking care of a caravan, a bit in a post-apocalyptic world, maybe more along the lines of a Fallout type world. But anyway, this is episode 1 of Let's Try Caravaneer 2. I don't know a ton about it. It's made by one person, apparently, Dmitry Zeltabruikov. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. We're here on Launchbox. I have Caravan typed in. A couple other games, but let's go ahead and play Caravaneer 2. And, we'll learn it together. We'll experience it together and journey together and see how it goes. I'm excited. It's going to be something new. And here we go. So there is music and stuff, but just not on this main menu screen. So instead of going to guides and instructions, I'm just going to hit new game and make a new character. So we can make male or female. I think this is the male character. Let's go ahead and randomize name. Bon Jovi Jersey. Medib. There he is. So we're going to be, I'll be Matthew since it's more of a humanoid type game. Let's check the face shape. Go with that one. Let's get the hair going. Ooh. Makes a big difference, the hair. So we're just going to create somebody here. Mouth. Oh, that's alright, actually. Let's get some different eyes. Kind of like those. For the hair, let's do a color of brown, if we can find it right there. Light brown, kind of. Dark brown. And the eyes, I want to be brown too. And the eyebrows, I want to be brown too. And the facial hair, we want to be brown as well. So there we go. We have the right eyes. Let's check the right nose now. Doesn't seem to go with that mouth. Ooh. Alright, so something like that is fine. That nose is probably actually fine. Kinda has a feminine look, but that's okay. Where's that nose? This one? There we go. Beard. Go with various different beards. I'm just gonna put none. Then we've got ears, which you can't really see through the hair. Let's change the hair and then change the ears. Something like that. Wrinkles. Will be a little aged. Mustache, no. Whiskers. Keep something like that. Bristle. Keep a light bristle. I'm liking this, guys. I'm liking this. And shirt. We'll go ahead and go with something nice. And pendant. Put on pendant. No, there we go. So that'll be our character. Kind of looks like me. Alright, so we can mess with the attribute points instead of leaving them all 5s. Let's go ahead and hit about attributes. Wait 1 second, guys. Alright, we're on the wiki. Here we can look at it. That link doesn't work, by the way. It's because the site no longer exists, I think. Let's check out the attributes. The physical attribute directly influences the character's maximum health by 20 points per point invested, with the highest amount of health being 200 with a physical attribute of 10. Physical also affects the initial max load of a character, which can only raise by letting time pass. Max load training cannot be sped up. Even with a high intelligence, health cannot be permanently raised after attributes have been chosen. So health is permanent. According to the physical stat, agility attribute directly influences the character's traveling speed by 0.5 kilometers an hour, added to a base speed of 3 kilometers an hour, with the highest speed possible being 8 kilometers an hour. Agility also influences the initial AP of a character, as well as affecting how easily more AP can be gained through experience and training. Speed cannot be permanently raised after the attributes have been chosen. If the character is aboard a vehicle, an animal, or a cart, his or her speed in game becomes the speed of that vehicle, that animal, or the animal pulling that cart. Accuracy attribute influences the character's ranged weapon skill, which then affects the skill and accuracy for all weapons. Every skill the accuracy attribute affects can be increased after attributes have been chosen through experience and training. Intelligence attribute influences the character's learning capacity, which then affects how easily skills can be increased through training, experience, and schooling. Learning capacity cannot be increased in any way after the attributes are chosen. Intelligence also affects dialogue choices encountered in story mode. In order to have full access to all dialogue options in story mode, the character needs at least a minimum 6 intelligence. So that's good for us. Let's see. I'm going to take a point out of physical and put it in intelligence. Another point out of physical, and maybe a point out of agility for speed, and go intelligence and intelligence. Maybe something like that. I don't think 3 physical will be too terrible. But I want the 8 intelligence. 5 accuracy is still pretty good. 4 agility, not the worst. 3 physical, the worst. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so we're done here. Alright, so we've got the next step, story mode or survival mode. I'm gonna click story mode. Note this isn't a story mode that that doesn't mean the game is easy. It means it just has a story rather than a procedurally generated survival mode, I think is the deal here. Please select the difficulty. We'll click show tutorial. And I guess we'll do normal. I don't know if hard is going to be a little too hard for us, because this is a pretty complex game. Let's go ahead and hit start. Alright. And we'll get right into it. You were born after the collapse of the old civilization, but your life had a peculiar scenario. You spent your childhood in an underground bunker inhabited by a small group of people who managed to stay isolated from the violence and misery of the outside world. With plenty of energy coming from a nuclear reactor and access to underground water, the bunker's community was almost completely autonomous and only occasionally needed supplies from the outside. In order to guarantee the security of the bunker, its location and the very fact of its existence were kept secret. Most of the inhabitants weren't allowed to leave the bunker, and only specially trained scouts kept in touch with the outside world. You were chosen to become such a scout and spent the last several months being trained by Olaf, an experienced fellow who was the only active scout in the bunker at the moment. Your last training was the first one you did on your own. You had to stay in the desert during 24 hours with nothing but some water. You did well and even managed to have a large fried lizard for breakfast. Now that the 24 hours are over, you are heading back to the bunker. You're eager to report about your success, even though you suspect that Olaf was watching you the whole time from the distance. Welcome to Caravaneer 2. You're in travel mode now. The symbol here is your caravan. You can change its direction by clicking anywhere around it, but don't do it just yet. Just let it proceed to its destination. Alrighty. Once you enter the bunker, you are met by one of the bunker's executives who tells you that you must see Chairman Brass immediately. The situation seems unusual to you, but the executive refuses to give you any additional details and insists on following him to Chairman Brass's office. You have no other choice but to do as he says. Alright. Hello, I'm sorry for summoning you here in such a hurry, but the matter is urgent. Please tell me, how's your training going? Very well. The last stage was quite successful. Glad to hear it. Look, I called you here because we have a little problem. Before I start to explain you all the details, I want to ask you if you know the current whereabouts of your mentor, Olaf. I think that maybe he was out in the desert supervising my last mission, but I didn't see him, so I cannot be sure. I'm quite positive that he wasn't supervising your mission. Then I'm afraid I don't have a clue. You see, Olaf had explicit order not to leave the bunker and to get prepared for a very important mission. For this reason, he could not supervise your last training. Nevertheless, he disobeyed the orders and left the bunker at some time during last night. Can you think of any possible reason of why he would do such a thing? Have you heard anything or saw him doing anything unusual? No, sir. There's absolutely nothing I can think of. Okay, do you realize that with Olaf currently missing, you are the only scout we have available? Yes, sir. Therefore, I need to assign you the mission of locating Olaf and bringing him back to the bunker. It's an honor, sir. Okay, let me brief you. As long as we don't know where he went, we should start with the closest settlement. Even if it wasn't his final destination, it might have been the first step to replenish supplies. The closest settlement is called Silos. You can easily measure it on your map, but I can already tell you that you need to take 10 degrees direction from here, and soon you'll get there, and you'll get there pretty soon. Once you're in Silos, take a look around and ask the people. It's a small settlement. If Olaf was there, they would surely notice. Understood. Okay, here, take some money in this pistol. We don't have a lot of ammunition for it, so try not to get into any fights. If you see anyone approaching, stop and hide, as Olaf taught you. Avoid everyone, just in case. However, if you find Olaf and he refuses to return to the bunker, you have my permission to use your weapon against him. What? Use my weapon against Olaf? You know perfectly well that the most important principle of this community is protecting lives and the well-being of its members. Therefore, you must understand that if one person needs to be sacrificed to save the lives of all other inhabitants of this bunker, it's our duty to make such sacrifice. I understand, sir. I understand perfectly how terrible it sounds, and I sincerely hope that the situation can be solved otherwise. But I also hope that as a member of this community and as a scout, you will accomplish your duty of protecting this bunker, no matter how drastic are the required measures. So, is my mission to kill Olaf? No, not at all. Just find him and tell him that I want him back immediately and that I'm very serious about it. I'm pretty sure that he will do as you say. However, if for some reason he decides to disobey the order, it would mean that his intentions are not good, and that you might consider using physical force against him. It's not going to be easy, but I'll do my best. Any questions? Can you teach me how to find which way to go? It's very easy. Take your map, find your current location on it, and then draw a line from where you are to where you want to go. Calculate the angle and the distance and start moving in this direction until you get there. Okay, thank you. Can you remind me how to stay unnoticed? I'm not a scout, so I can't help you much with this. You'll need to develop this skill on your own. The only advice I can give you is to stop when you detect a danger and try to hide. When you're moving, you're easier to notice. Thank you for the advice. Special story. Is there a chance to get better equipment? Sorry, I understand that what I gave you isn't really enough for your mission, but I'm afraid that we have absolutely nothing else you could use. Although, you know what? There might be a way to get some extra equipment for you. We used to do a lot of trading with a merchant in Silos. I don't really know if he's still there, but if you find him, tell him that you are one of Olaf's people, and ask him if he can give you some equipment. We will pay him later. I'm sure that he'll be okay with it. He knows us well and has no reason to distrust us. Great, where can I find him? He used to own a shop in Silos. It was the only shop there. If it's still open, you'll find it easily, but if not, ask around. The person's name is Finn. Everybody in town knows him. Splendid. I'll go look for this Finn. Thank you, sir. See you later. Alright. So we're at the bunker. We can look around the screen a bit. 3 out of 28 kilogram load. 600 money. I didn't realize the 3 physical would affect the load so much. I thought there'd be more factors to it. It's the 10th of July, 2080, I guess. 1:32 in the morning, I suppose. Let's check out the different buttons. We can go to your room, our room, the storeroom, talk to someone named Amelia, go to a doctor, go back to Chairman Brass. Let's check statistics, see what this does. This is our bunker data here, basically. Population 48, wealthiness 74.43, and it basically shows, you know, we're producing a lot of food and consuming a lot, but we have a balance of plus 744. We're consuming, or we're producing quite a bit of water and have a plus 171 of what we're consuming. Consuming some medicine, some alcohol, a little bit of cannabis, some fuel, some lubricant, some salt, no lye, bit of candles, no soap or paper, some cement, lower body clothing, no headgear, upper body clothing, and a small amount of shoes. So this is just a theoretical overview and recent data. There's no data to display. Let's check hire people. There are no people to hire in this location. Industries. It looks like we can check out the town's industries. They do bean cultivation, mushroom cultivation, potato cultivation. Shows you the amount of employees, their expenses, what they consume, and what they produce. I guess we can buy these. Wow, for 810,000, 4.4 million, 5 million. Carrot cultivation, pea cultivation, and water well. So that's what this bunker produces. 70 million for the water well. Wow. We can, I guess, own industries. We have nothing. New industry. You cannot start any industries in this town at the moment. Okay, let's check out the caravan menu. The caravan menu is where you manage most of the things related to your caravan. In crew section of caravan menu, you can see information about your people and perform crew-related actions, such as raising salaries of mercenaries or freeing prisoners. Okay, so here's our stats. We're healthy, 60 out of 60 HP. We're not damaged. We have, you know, decent morale. Our AP is 12, speed of 5, carrying capacity 28. And here's our skills. We have a 114 learning capacity. We have very little battle experience, but some total overall experience. Doctor's very good. Veterinary's pretty good. Mechanics okay. Ranged weapons is lower. Not good at close combat or unarmed. Throwing crossbows and pistols, about just above water level on that. Rifles, machine guns, submachine guns, shotguns, rocket launchers. Not too good with flamethrowers, knives, clubs, chopping melee, swords, dodge, high pain threshold. Really good at first aid. Pretty good at hunting, collecting, smuggling. Have good sight. Weight 60, 98% of ideal, I guess. Food need per day, 1902. Water need, 1,902. I guess that's calories. And water need per day, 2.0, so about 2 water needed a day. Let's check the overview. The overview section contains general information about your caravan and gives you access to various tools that helps manage your equipment. Available and produced water is represented in X plus Y format. X stands for the actual water you have or produce, and Y is water contained in food. Noticeability factor determines how far enemies will notice. It defines from how far enemies will notice your caravan. So we're going to go over all these buttons first, and then we'll actually start, doing this stuff next time. So we need 2 liters of water, and we consume about almost 2,000 calories a day in 2 liters of water. We can quickly distribute stuff. Let's see. We have 1 total man. It's me, a volunteer, I guess. Shows what we have. Not moving. Noticeability 47. Let's check skills. Okay, I guess, again, this is our skills. I don't know why, it doesn't show all of them, but there we go. These are our main skills, I guess, in our build. Settings. Pause when entering travel mode, yes. Interact with friendly caravans, yep. Collect forage. Yeah. Hunt, milk animals, shear, sound effects, music, autosave, advanced trading. We don't actually want that. This just lets us trade more than we can actually carry. Include transport and passenger distribution, I don't know. Distribute batteries with ammo, fill water in vehicles, and fill lubricant, okay. Weight chart. Shows, weight chart. The weapon would be white, so that's our weapon. Ammo, liquids, containers. Containers are needed. Manage containers. You need containers to store liquids in Caravaneer too. The same containers can be used for different liquids. In this menu, you can change the distribution of liquids between containers. There's a list of the liquids you have in your cargo, an area with available unoccupied containers, and withdrawn containers area. Drag containers between these areas to redistribute them. Containers are automatically distributed, but this menu allows you to fine-tune the distribution. Dragging a container to the withdrawn containers area withdraws all containers of the same type. These containers will not be used until you make them available again through this menu. 2 glass bottles, volume 1 liter, click and drag to rearrange. 1 available container. I don't really understand this. 2 available containers. Withdrawn containers. This will withdraw all containers of this type from use. Are you sure we want to do it? Sure. Okay, so that's not good. We want to make them available and add them to the water. Okay, and we press a button max. Just a little keypad. I love the aesthetic of it. That is super cool. And this up here, awesome. So now we have 2 containers and the water is taken care of. There'll be other liquids listed here that we can add the containers to, is how it works. Alright, log. The log section contains useful data such as consumption and production graphs, prices for items in visited locations, and your reputation with factions and people. So no data to display on the economy, so we can get prices and stuff to do better trading for the different amounts of time period. Missions. Chairman Brass wants you to find Olaf and bring him back to the bunker. There's in progress, completed, and failed. Reputation. Oh, this is pretty neat. We have +4 to tough. Reputation with the slavers, lawbreakers, the tough, the virtuous, the smart. Oh, wait, no, this is like how we are perceived, I guess. Or how we are, like, what's our reputation with friendly people, trustworthy, rational, smart, virtuous, tough, slaver, lawbreaker. Relationships with people, Chairman Brass 0, so it tracks people as well. Very, very cool. Love the aesthetic as well. Simple to use and understand. Crew, it's just me. Equipment. The equipment section is for distributing battle gear among your people. You can select crew members in the left-hand list and pieces of equipment in the right-hand list, and pressing the equip button will give the selected item to the selected person if it's possible. You can double-click weapons, attachments, and armor to remove them from the person's equipment. Inventory items can be removed with a single click. The 3 numbers next to the character's portrait represent the total damage resistance, fire resistance, and explosion resistance of the person's armor. Which are these? Fire resist, explosion resist, and overall damage resist, I guess. We've got a Luger P08 semi-automatic pistol. 9mm parabellum ammo, 8 ammo capacity, 5 accuracy, 100% velocity. It has different modes: quick shot, aim shot, headshot, and reload. The combat in the game is isometric, kind of like a Fallout. There's our ammo. It shows the different stats of it: 20 approximate damage, 8 mass, probably 8 grams, I guess. Muzzle velocity, whether they're armor piercing, tissue damage, what they do, their form factor, their projectile diameter. Very cool. Ammo, we can equip different things. We know our stats here: clear inventory, clear equipment, swap weapons. So this is already equipped. We can double click it to unequip it. Let's just equip it. And how many units to remove of ammo? None, so let's just cancel and hit off. Love it. Alright, so that's the equipment. Very straightforward. Supplies. The supply section helps you manage the rationing of your supplies. You can define how much food, water, and medicine your people will get, as well as set the proportion of different foodstuffs in their food rations. The amount of food and water affect people's health and morale. Morale is also affected by the quality of food that people eat. Please note that the numbers you set for foodstuff distribution are relative parts. The actual amounts that will be consumed by your people depend on what foodstuffs you have in your cargo. You can define separate supply distribution schemes for different categories of people, but by default all of them are set to be the same as volunteer scheme. So we can affect their water rations, take it down, add extra. Their food rations, people in this group of volunteers, average morale 57. So if we go to mercenaries, they would be treated the same as volunteers, so these numbers would be the same. This just shows you their consumption. We don't have any prisoners, mercenaries, slaves, temporary companions, or escorted. So these numbers are 0, obviously. Nobody is consuming anything. But if we look at prisoners, they're treated as volunteers, but slaves are treated as prisoners. That is weird. It's not weird. It's just that it's not like a flowing system. Like mercenaries are treated as volunteers as well as prisoners, and that doesn't mean slaves as prisoners are treated as volunteers, if that makes sense. Slaves are treated as prisoners, period. And prisoners are treated as, normal folks. We can use relative amount of all this different type of food: peas, beans, mushrooms, potatoes, and give them a relative level of what to eat. Different meats and milks and stuff. Medicine consumption. We can tell them if they're lightly wounded, take 0, and this is for the volunteers, so it'll affect the ones labeled as volunteers. What to take if they're moderately severe or critically wounded, the different medicine. But if we look at prisoners, we can't look unless there's someone in the group. Oh wait, instead of same as another group, we can do this. Same as prisoners. Yeah, same idea. Alright, so that's supplies. We'll have to tinker with it a bit when we get some more crew members. Transport livestock. We don't have any transport carts. We don't have any carts or animals. We don't have any transport passengers. Cargo. Cargo section gives you information about different items in your cargo and lets you perform actions such as throwing away items or withdrawing them from use. You can only sell, throw away, or equip your people with the items that are not in use. You will see buttons like these at the top of different lists. They are filters. Disabling them will make the lists of the corresponding category disappear from the list. Filters for this list are market goods, food, liquids, liquid containers, electrical devices, miscellaneous items, weapons, ammo, weapon attachments, armor, medical, first aid, and tools. Other lists may include filters for different categories of transport and personnel. Double-clicking a filter button will enable the clicked filter and disable all others, like a solo mode. So if I just want to see the Weapons. Double click, and there we show us all of our weapons. But then we can just let everything else, redo it there. Can withdraw from use. Check the weight chart. Liquids, blah blah blah. Current item. Show the different modes. So this is all what we're carrying. 1.5 kilograms of water. We can manage the containers. We have 2 glass bottles, which are in use for water. 1.5 liters are not in use. I'm not quite getting this. I guess we just need more bottles. I don't know. Then we've got our gun and the ammo. Workshop. The workshop allows you to produce items using other items and tools. Items that can be produced right now will become brighter and will appear at the top of the list. You can only produce a limited number of each item per day. This number depends on the level of the required skills. So, all sorts of stuff. Gun even. We need wrench, pliers, screwdriver, M1 Garand ×1, and mechanic skill of 650. So the skills go well over 100. We can make one of those per day. First aid bags, white Tagelmust, textiles, Luger with a light trigger, or Glock with a light trigger, Molotov cocktails, all kinds of more crazy guns, a Dragunov, accurized, very cool. And I guess that would be everything. Did we go over everything? Looks like it. So let's close that, which was the Caravan menu. Then we have the map. Navigation screen is an essential tool for traveling between locations. It allows you to calculate the direction you need to follow and the distance you need to travel to get to your destination. It also helps you to estimate the time and the amount of resources you would need for the journey. To calculate the route, you need to click on your location on the map and then on the destination point. Your location is not marked on the map by default, but you can know exactly what it is if you are in a town or estimate it otherwise. After setting the 2 points, you can click the Go button to start moving in the required direction, or go back to travel mode and set the direction manually. This is interesting. So we're obviously at the bunker, but it's not going to show us if we veer off the path where we are. We have to keep track of that. So our current route to get to silos, we'll click there. Click there. It shows us water needed 1 liter. We have 2 available. We have no food yet. We have to pick up some food. It would take 13 hours, 57 kilometers, 9.4 degrees. He said 10 degrees, same idea. If we click go, we would go there. Invert would be backwards. This just moves the map around. This zooms in or out. And yeah, it's huge. And there's a lot more points of interest that we'll find along the way. Just kind of sets your... auto sets the zoom. Alright, so if we go back to our bunker, there's some items here to check out, but I want to see how long we've been playing. 33 minutes. Okay, we can talk a little bit about this then. Let's head to our room. So in our room, we also have a small knife. 8 damage, 1 armor penetration, 20 open wound infliction. You can slash and stab with it. Improves doctor by 5, veterinary by 5, and mechanic by 1. It's usable as a tool as well. A basic first aid kit. Healing potential 5. And we have map of the tribal region. So I'm going to probably grab this stuff. Total weight 1. We can definitely carry it. We're not overloaded. We have enough containers. Takes us to 4 out of 28. So let's exchange. Boop. We got that stuff. Whoops. So now we're Gucci. We can exit our room. There's nothing else to do here. Except exchange loot that's in our room. Then there's the storeroom. So if we go to the storeroom, here's where we'll get our food. There's beans available for us. 31 energy, 30 water percent, 30% water I should say, and taste +1. And weight per unit is 1 kilogram. So we know we only need 1 of these to get to our destination, but then 1 to come back. What would happen if we take 5 kilograms of beans Takes us to 9 out of 28. And then there's a ton of water, which 1 kilogram per unit. Not enough containers, so we'll take another 0.5 then. And then beans and less exchange. Takes our total weight to 10 out of 28. We have 17.7 left. So let's, now that we have that, we can take all. Let's exit and let's actually go to this. Is it stats? No, the caravan menu. Cargo. 5 not in use. Let me see, where would it be supplies? Beans, 5 available, 5 consumed, so relative. I guess 10 is just good enough anyway. 1900 calories a day of beans. Is there another way to approach that? Here's a small knife that we can equip in our secondary weapon slot. Very nice. And equip a first aid kit in our inventory. Very nice. Is it the log? Alright, here we go. Prices for beans. They were free. No, that's not what I want. Overview. Here we go. Available. Okay, this seems like not enough here. It shows our weight chart. The food has been added. It weighs pretty much the food. The beans alone weigh as much as everything else combined. So we only have 1,500 kcals available, and we're going to be consuming 19, so that's not going to work out. We're not producing any. Let's see. Water, 2 plus 2 liters. So 2 liters is coming from the beans, I guess, because they're 30% water. And we consume 2 liters a day. So we have enough water. Containers are fine. Let's go back to our room and take that other 0.5 of beans. Or to the storeroom. So now if we go to the overview, just trying to get used to these menus and stuff. Now we have 1,700 kcals available, and we can consume 1,900 per day. So closer, but if we go to supplies, we should probably put our food rations down to 90%. Then we have the food consumption properly, so we're not over consuming. 5.5 of beans. This is fine. It's going to be just fine. Water rations. We have enough from the beans and the water. I think that's good. So next time, I'll go ahead and talk to Amelia. We might see Chairman Brass once again, and I might hit the doctor. So what I want to do, though, how do we save this bad boy? Do I leave? You're in travel mode again. If you've just exited a location, clicking on your caravan symbol will make you enter this location again. Clicking on your caravan symbol anywhere else will make your caravan stop or will put it back in motion. Another way to do the same thing is by using the hotkey M that always stops you, puts you back in motion no matter where you are. So where's the caravan symbol? I don't know. We'll find out. These buttons here open caravan menu, navigation screen, and settings window. Their hotkeys are C, N, and S respectively. I'll just use the mouse layout. Caravan menu lets you manage things related to your caravan. Navigation screen lets you calculate the path to the desired location. And settings window lets you adjust different gameplay settings. Here, these numbers represent your important resources, which are water, food, medicine, forage, fuel, electricity, and money. Pay attention to the bulbs located next to these numbers. They light up when resource levels are critically low. These bulbs here. Okay. These bulbs indicate critically wounded people, animals in poor condition, mechanical problems, and other problems. Very cool interface, right, guys? That's awesome stuff. This is your cargo load. If your caravan is overloaded, you'll move slower or even completely stop. 0.002 ton, and max is 0.028, so we're fine. And then we have the 4 buttons to the right set your game speed and pause the game. The red button takes you to the options menu where you can save, load, or exit the game. There we go. Hotkeys 1, 2, 3, set the game speed. 0, 1, 4, pause the game. Spacebar is pause, unpause, and escapes open the options menu. So there we go. So our game paused. I do want to set pause when entering travel mode. I thought I set that. Okay. Let's go ahead and save as episode 1, YouTube 1. Want to thank you guys for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you join me for our journey. That's a lot of J, but just be jolly about it. Yeah, I hope you guys are digging this. More to come. It's going to get even more interesting as we delve into the story, as we, explore the wasteland. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope you join me. And that said, more Vagrus is going to come at some point as well, but right now I'm just kind of bouncing around to a few games that I want to let's try, playing some Grim Tides and stuff like that. So yeah, feel free to watch what you'd like, and thank you for watching anything. I appreciate whatever you watch or whatever you leave a comment or all that good stuff. So appreciate you guys in general. Much love, peace, and joy. Catch you in the next one. Stay cool, guys. Until then, bye-bye.